Yeah, that's right. I'm not sure, based on your previous conversation, that Sir Elton can save him on this one. It's pretty ugly. The guide, I think it's more about the future guide than it is the first quarter performance. But what's really disappointing is this stock got hammered after the fourth quarter print because they guided to a really abysmal first quarter, which we've now seen was sort of in line with that guide. But the crazy thing about it is the remainder of the year was really aspirational as we think about what was built into the implied guidance for the remainder of the year. And I think a lot of people were scratching their heads at the time and wondering if this was a buying opportunity. But those numbers were not layups. And as we're seeing now, they brought all of those targets down pretty substantially after just, it was late August, early September when we last heard from them. There was a month left in the first quarter. It's pretty amazing just how much worse things appear to have gotten with respect to the outlook here.
What levers can they pull here, James? I mean, would you welcome if they put through further price cuts, or would the market hate that?
No, I think the last time through, look, we all know that price cuts are a part of the strategy here, and that they are an inevitability, and that allows them to reach an even larger market. But it's at this stage of the growth curve. I think 3 months ago, when they pulled that lever, it was a little bit surprising that it was this early, and it doesn't leave you a whole lot of dry powder, so to speak. I think new products should help. The big remaining new product that everybody's been talking about for a long time is the rower. I think that's ultimately gonna come out, and it's not in numbers, at least that I'm aware of, and so that should help. But what this tells us today is that their existing products, right, their core, their bread and butter, the bike, which they just lowered the price on, it didn't stimulate demand the way that they would have hoped. And the new treadmill, which is always, I for a long time looked at that as the next big catalyst, just doesn't seem to have caught on the way that they would have hoped at this stage.
Well, they talk about that in the shareholder letter. They spin it as a positive. Obviously, they cut the price of the bike, $39 per month to $14.95, and says that the biggest growth here is younger and less affluent customers. Yet he says among non-members, there remains a lingering perception that Peloton is a luxury item, and they have to amplify their message there through marketing to get ahead of the holiday season. So, I could see the price cut being a positive or a negative. Negative, sure, if it's looking like they're sort of devaluing the brand and going more promotional, but positive if it does open up this new audience that maybe just takes a while to get there because of lack of awareness that this is something that is more affordable.
That's right. But I hear what you just read, and I just see dollar signs, right? They're going to need to spend a lot of money to reach out to those consumers, and I think we're seeing that with the guide. Three months ago, they were talking about a $325 million loss for the year. Now it's more like $450 at the midpoint. So that's $125 million worse versus 3 months ago. I think some of that's top line for sure, that maybe it's not catching on as quickly as they would like. But I think more of it is the marketing budget really getting ratcheted up. I've still got to dig through some of these numbers, but my guess is that that's what we're talking about here, that they're back to sort of square one, right? We had this pandemic period where these things sold themselves, right? People didn't have a whole lot of options in terms of their workout regimens. Now, all of a sudden, the full complement of fitness alternatives are available to people. And so they're going to really have to work to get mind share, particularly in a category that they're not known for, right? Treadmill. Peloton is a biking term, right? Is a cycling term. Most people aren't even aware that Peloton sells a treadmill.
No, you're absolutely right. They're saying that they're taking steps to re-examine their expense base and adjust their operating costs. James Hardiman, thank you for joining us. The stock getting crushed after hours.